Well, welcome back to the Darts Jack YouTube channel. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've done a video. It has been a bit hectic, but I have, thought I'd get back onto the YouTube scene by doing a quick Q&A. So I got you guys to submit your questions on my socials, which you can find here. And yeah, so let's get into answering your questions. Okay, I'm just gonna turn low power mode off on my device so I can actually see the questions. Okay, number one, why does so few people get lessons/coaching when they take up darts? When people take up another technical sport like golf, almost everyone has a few lessons. So this was submitted by Keith Young, who is a member of the ADL. I think the simple thing, the two main reasons I would say are the kind of not the availability of it and people knowing about it. I think there are some excellent darts coaches around the UK and in other countries. You've got the likes of, I think it's Daniel Poole, sorry if I've got that wrong, SWR, Sam Squire, who all offer excellent darts coaching services. I think the first point to make is that people don't know they are available. I don't know if that's because they're not big on social media or stuff, so I think we really need to try help get them growing. So I think that's probably one of the reasons. I think the second is location. I don't think you have many incredibly spread around the UK like you may have darts venues or academies. So I think they probably are the two main reasons. So fingers crossed we do get more darts coaches. I know there's just been a PDPA, I don't know if that's right, darts coaching kind of session thing to get your kind of qualification. So I think we'll see a lot more darts coaching come out of that, especially in like academies. Next question. Sent in by Only Balls and Tosses. As big as darts is getting, along with influencer channels such as YouTubers and TikTokers being invited to Modus Super Series, do you think all us content creators could get together and make a massive spectacle such as the IDC Influencer Darts Corporation? I think, first of all, it's brilliant to see influencers get invited to such big events such as the Modus Super Series. I think it's brilliant to have them kind of stand out. People like Charlie Murphy, George Scaife, and then obviously the Bull Hitters, who I think are just the most amazing content creators. I think their content is fresh and brilliant. Same as George Scaife, I absolutely love his content. Charlie Murphy has always been really supportive of my content and produces brilliant content, and his YouTube is amazing. So yeah, I think it's amazing that they're getting the opportunity. In terms of getting content creators to do a kind of a spectacle thing, it's something that I've thought about, kind of running almost like an influencer darts tournament. The idea was kind of put to me first, like about a year ago, just after I'd started the podcast, about a month in, where Travis Cullen sent me a message saying, could we try to set up a round robin between the people who have kind of been on the podcast so far? And I thought it was a brilliant idea. We couldn't eventually find a time or date to make it happen, but something like that I think would work. I think you'd have to find the right way of doing it, whether it be that people's games are played on different channels, whether they're played like, it's all on one social media or in person, online. There's lots of technical things that would need to be in place for them to work. Would I love to be a part of it? Absolutely. I don't play enough in-person darts. I've only ever played one in-person darts tournament, and I'm hoping to play more in the future. But definitely, there are so many influencers who are just absolutely lovely, who I think could definitely get together and do something. I'm hoping to do kind of like a summer season thing where I just play loads of influencers. I'm definitely hoping to do more in-person events over the next few months and get some more vlogs out of them. But in terms of content creators, definitely, I think it could happen that we do some sort of tournament or league where it is content creator based. I definitely think that is an opportunity. Brilliant question, and if anyone wants to get involved in that, just drop me a message and I'll set up a game. Next question from Kurt at Matador Darts, another influencer who is brilliant. What/who inspired you to start YouTube, and why do you do it? I don't actually know. I don't think I have a set answer for this. I posted my first video, which was a review of the Eleanor Cairns darts, I think, which were the first set of darts I've used and stuck with. I don't use them now. And I uploaded that, and I think I just got enjoyment out of making the videos. I've always loved kind of doing stats and analysis. It came from football first. I've loved football since I was young, doing stats analysis and kind of trying to get into the media side of that. But darts has always been the sport that I've absolutely loved. And something that I know that I'd like to continue doing. YouTube, the idea for YouTube came first because I didn't really know how I wanted to do the podcast. The podcast has kind of become what I think I'm more known for in terms of my content, the podcast. Obviously, it's where most of my branding comes from, and I love doing both YouTube and the podcast. I think just watching darts YouTube back then, this was December 2023, pretty much 2024. The likes of the darts referee I'd watched for a while. His content is amazing. Who else? Kurt, yourself, absolutely. I've watched your videos before, especially your kind of. I think what I love is the titles which you know you're going to be interested in. I know Kurt's done a lot of like, £10 versus £1,000. But I think he did Luke Littler one. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, Kurt. But yeah, that kind of content was always really exciting to watch, and I think I could bring a younger perspective to that. Which I think I've done in my reviews. I've tried to make my reviews a lot more interesting, and YouTube in general. Do I think I'll continue doing it? Absolutely. I don't think I ever see it stopping. Okay. Gareth Braemar, and I know that's not his name, and I'm going to touch on this quickly. There's a long-running joke that at the first ADL event in October 2024 live, I was refereeing, I called out some games, and I accidentally called Gareth Braemar, as in that's his surname, because that's where all his socials are, is actually where he's from, but his actual name is Gareth Johnson, so I apologise for that. Greatest ever darting experience. I would say, from the reffing point of view, I loved reffing Tom Sykes' games. I loved reffing a game with AJ Emerson Toft, where he was playing incredibly. But refereeing the throwdown game between Average Darts 180 and Braithwaite, where he averaged so good, better than some of the pros on the night, I think, actually. That was probably my greatest experience, just having the fans kind of there to watch the game, and me reffing and getting the opportunity to introduce it, and Luke Bogg giving me the chance to announce my podcast at the event before. Probably an experience that I don't feel I'll ever forget. I don't think I can ever pick a favourite. I also then went to the Grand Slam in Wolverhampton last year, which was my first ever actual event, and that was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Someone came up to me in St Helens the other week and said that they'd seen my content, and that was probably the nicest moment I've had since doing content, so maybe I'd go for that. Okay, Charlie Gray, what are your goals going forward for 2025? I don't really know. I've grown really nicely on YouTube. I think my main goals are for the podcast. I enjoy doing the YouTube, but the podcast is, I think, the thing that I would really like to grow more. Sometimes the views aren't great, sometimes they are. I've done incredible interviews with the likes of Jaden Walker, loads of influencers, loads of players. I think I'd love to interview, I'm going to say 3 players from the top 32 by the end of 2025 is my aim. And I would also maybe like to be invited to an event as a media thing. I think those are probably my 2 goals for 2025. I'm hopefully going to go down to Modus and watch it then, maybe do some interviews with players then. But as in when they're about to walk on and stuff, just film some content there. Because I've always wanted to go to Modus, so hopefully I'll be able to get down to Portsmouth and do that soon. But yeah, those are my main goals. Also to get above 50 average consistently. Who's your pick from the World Championships, the ADL? I think you can't really ever guess past Littler or Humphreys. I think those are I think they're in great form. So the likes of Gerwyn Price, Rob Cross, Stephen Bunting struggled in the Premier League. But I am going to go for Gary Anderson. He is playing some incredible stuff at the Players' Championships, hit 9 darter, hit loads of ton plus averages consistently. His scoring and doubles combined just looks to be effortless. So at this point in time, Gary Anderson. I know he had that disappointing defeat to Jeffrey de Graaf, but I'll still stick with the Scotsman. Jonathan Hamrati, how do I find the right darts for a beginner? I'm not going to say what I think are the best darts for a beginner. I know that question comes later on. How do I find the right darts? I think start off with... I don't even think you should start off with brass. I would say whatever darts you get first, try them out, see what you like, what you don't like about them, and then write that down in the list, get to a dart shop and get some darts which match that criteria that you've wrote yourself, whether it's you prefer the scallop or you prefer a straight dart, you like you like a bullnose or tapered dart, those kind of things. Write what you do and don't like and go to a dart shop, speak to an expert, someone like Carl Holden at St Helens who knows exactly what darts fit the requirements, and I try it out that way. What got you interested into darts? Ollie C. So my first ever darting memory was in 2018, or would it have been the start? 2019? I can't remember. It'll be whichever one. Rob Cross won the World Championship. I remember sitting in my grandma's lounge and being able to stay up to watch the World Championship final. And my parents were never really into darts. I know my dad said he played it as a kid, but I remember being allowed to stay up and watching Rob Cross win the 2018 Darts World Championship and being like, yeah, I want to do this. I remember him hitting the match dart and me immediately rushing up to bed after that because I wasn't allowed to stay up that late at that time, because that was only 2018. And I then remember going out and buying a soft tip board, which I used for a while. I think I got from Argos. And then my first ever boards and set of darts was a Blade 5, and I used some Raymond van Barneveld darts. And yeah, that is what got me interested into darts. I then kind of stopped actually playing it for a couple of years and then got real back into it. I can't remember when it was, but I just got absolutely obsessed, and that leads me to where I am doing all my content now. What got you into darts from Zach? Same kind of question. The only other thing I think I would mention is kind of what got me into doing, being interested in the actual the sport side of it, not just watching it, was just all the the stats and analysis blew my mind. The averages, doubles percentage, knowing what routes to go, the maths of darts, something that really interests me. And I know it whenever I'm playing my dad or something, when he starts on 20s on 303, and even though I know he's never going to hit a 171, I still know that that's the correct route to go on the 19s. So I think the maths and the stats and analysis also helped me get in. Okay, Marky Paul from the ADL. This is a brilliant question. Hi Jack, might seem a daft question initially, but ask a couple of times. What do you think has had a bigger impact to the rise of darts in the last couple of years? Luke Littler or all the new levels for customisation for darts equipment, including shirts? Feel this may start a debate. I agree. I think it could start a debate. The term that I use, the Littler effect, which I know I've spoken on so many podcasts about, I think is endless. I think it got the youth into darts, but I also think it got people from all ages, all levels of darts getting into the sport again. Something which I think, I don't think we've seen that with sport. I think Rob Cross, when he did that, darts picked up. I don't think we've ever seen a sport that big get a sport that was already massive get an even bigger rise than what Luke Littler's brought to it, and I'll forever be thankful for that. But the customisation of darts equipment and shirts, I think the Littler darts, but also shirts, as in Adam Lipscomb's shirt. I'm trying to think of darts. Snakebites dart, always been known as a good shirt. MVG, everybody knows, he wears his green shirt. Customisation of darts, I think custom made darts, custom flights, all of them I think has got people into it because they know they can add their own personal touch onto darts. I think customization is massive. I think it allows people to express how much they love darts. But Littler, I don't think we will ever see someone have as big an effect on the sport as he has had. So I think I'll go with Littler for that one. And what I believe is the final question in this Q&A from Ava. What are the best darts for beginners? It's whatever suits you, to be honest. If you're thinking kind of low price point, you don't really know if you want to get into the darts. Red Dragon, Javelin, Amberjacks, they have loads, Red Dragon. Winmore, kind of maybe the 85% Tungsten Rage is a brilliant one. I think Willie O'Connor's got some darts in that. Danny Noppert, Joe Cullen, and they've all kind of got different shapes. Winmore, Red Dragon, I think do good beginner darts extremely well. So do Unicorn. They've got loads of good darts in an affordable price range. The global darts are really good. But yeah, Wimore, Red Dragon, Unicorn would be my go-to. Yeah, those would be my go-to for beginner darts. Yeah, I mentioned the Red Dragon, Amberjacks and Javelins, the Wimore 85% tungsten range. Unicorn, also sorry, my phone decided to run out of battery at the wrong time, but I did manage to keep the video so I don't have to record it again. What I was saying is Unicorn also have a brilliant line of darts for beginners. I think just their lower price point darts are really good. Those three brands are the best for beginner darts, in my opinion. Well, thank you all for sending in all your questions. I'm going to send some of you who I think are the best questions some, I know that seems bad, but like, I don't have unlimited stickers, so I'm going to send some stickers and some flights out to the people who I think had some really good questions. But thank you all for watching. It's been really amazing to kind of take a look at the darting world in general, take a look at some stuff that I've done in content creation over the past year. If you do have any more questions, just leave them down in the comments below. DM me on all my socials. I'll try to respond to every message. Or email me on the email in the description below. Or just, yeah, as I mentioned, comment them. I'll respond to all of them by message as well. Thank you all for sending in all your questions, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.